You don't lose confidence because you're getting older. And you don't lose firmness because your body suddenly gave up. What really happens is quieter than that. You start avoiding moments you used to enjoy. You stop trusting your own body. And you never say it out loud. Here's the question most men over 50 never ask anyone. Why does my body feel weaker even when nothing is technically wrong? I'm Dr. Claire Monroe, a urologist with over 15 years helping men over 50 restore their health naturally. In this video, I'm going to show you how one everyday posture lets gravity slowly steal your blood flow without pain, without warning, and without you noticing. And in a moment, I'll point out the first mistake most men make long before confidence starts to fade. You wake up one morning and something feels off. Not pain, not illness, just a quiet sense that your body isn't responding the way it used to. You tell yourself it's age. You tell yourself this is normal after 50. And because no one ever explained it to you, you slowly stop asking questions altogether. I hear this story over and over again from men like you. Men who say, "Nothing is broken, doctor," but something doesn't feel right anymore. They talk about sitting more hours every day, moving less without realizing it, and feeling heavy in their lower body by evening, as if energy slowly drains downward. One man I worked with, David, 62 years old. Healthy weight, clean checkups, still working full-time. On paper, everything looked fine. But he told me he stopped enjoying long walks, not because of pain, but because his legs felt tired far too quickly. And his confidence quietly followed. Another patient, Mark, 69. He blamed stress at first, then hormones, then aging itself. What he never considered was how 8 hours of sitting every day and the wrong posture at night were slowly changing how blood moved through his body. Here's what makes this so frustrating. There's no warning light, no sharp symptom that forces you to act. Instead, there's uncertainty, a constant wondering if this is just how it is now, and a silent fear that speaking up might confirm what you don't want to hear. Most men were never taught that circulation isn't only about the heart, it's about direction. And gravity always wins when posture works against you. Blood naturally pools downward. Muscles tighten where they shouldn't. The pelvic region becomes compressed without you noticing. Hour after hour, day after day, you don't feel it immediately. You feel it months later, as reduced energy, slower recovery, and a growing sense of self-doubt. I remember Robert, 71. He told me mornings felt fine, almost normal, but by night, he felt disconnected from his own body, like something had quietly shut down. He blamed motivation. He blamed confidence. But the real issue was physical, not emotional. When gravity works against you all day, the body adapts in the wrong direction. And that adaptation slowly looks like decline. That's the part no one explains. Your body isn't failing you. It's responding exactly as it was designed to respond. And when you don't understand the mechanism, you start blaming yourself, pulling back, and staying quiet. If any part of this feels uncomfortably familiar, type 1 in the comments. Think of your body like a plumbing system, not a machine that breaks, but a system that depends on flow and direction. Blood doesn't move by willpower. It moves because the heart pumps, and because gravity either helps it or quietly works against it. When you're younger, muscles compensate easily. They push blood upward. They adjust to long days, long sitting, poor posture. After 50, that margin shrinks, not because you're weak, but because muscle strain and recovery change with age. Now add gravity to the picture. When you sit for hours, especially with rounded shoulders and a tilted pelvis, blood is encouraged to pool downward, not suddenly, not dramatically, just consistently. Think of a garden hose. If it's straight, water flows freely. If it's bent, twisted, or compressed, flow slows even if pressure stays the same. Your blood vessels work the same way. Certain postures compress vessels in the pelvic region. Others overstretch muscles that are meant to assist circulation. Over time, this changes how efficiently blood returns upward. This is where most men get confused. They assume circulation problems mean the heart is weak, or hormones are failing, or nerves are damaged. But often, the system is intact. It's just fighting gravity all day long. Stress makes this worse. Not emotional stress alone, but physical strain held in muscles that never fully relax. Tight hip flexors, overloaded lower back muscles, a pelvis that stays tilted forward for hours. All of this increases resistance, and blood always takes the path of least resistance. When resistance builds in one area, flow is redirected elsewhere, not because the body is broken, but because it's efficient. That's why this feels gradual. There's no sudden failure, just a slow decline in how responsive your body feels. This is also why pills and quick fixes often disappoint. They don't change direction. They don't reduce mechanical strain. They don't work with gravity. Here's the key insight most men never hear. You don't fix circulation by forcing it. You fix it by removing what's quietly blocking it. Posture determines pressure. Pressure determines flow. And gravity amplifies whatever position you stay in the longest. Once you understand this, the solution becomes simpler and far less intimidating. In a moment, I'll show you the first strategy that works with gravity instead of fighting it, and why it's the safest place to start. The safest place to start is not adding effort, not pushing harder, and not forcing movement that your body isn't ready for yet. It starts with position. Because gravity never stops working, it only follows the posture you stay in the longest. The first strategy sounds simple, but it quietly changes everything when you stay consistent. It's how you sit during the day. Most men sit with their body folded forward, pelvis tipped out of alignment, lower back compressed, and weight trapped behind the hips for hours at a time. In that position, gravity pulls blood downward and keeps it there without resistance. The correction is not sit straight, because that creates tension and strain. The correction is allowing the pelvis to stack naturally, under the ribcage, so your weight flows through your feet. Instead of collapsing into your lower body, this is a small shift. Feet flat, pelvis neutral, chest relaxed instead of lifted or forced. Do this tonight. Not all day, just 10 focused minutes. That's enough to let compressed vessels open and allows circulation to rebalance without effort. I saw this clearly with Daniel, 65. He didn't change his workload. He didn't exercise more. He simply stopped collapsing into his chair every evening. Within 2 weeks, the heaviness he felt by night started fading, and his mornings felt noticeably lighter and more responsive. The second strategy works while you sleep. At night, gravity still matters, and 8 hours in the wrong position can quietly undo everything you did during the day. Sleeping flat on your back, with an overextended lower spine, locks tension into the pelvic region. A safer position is gentle side-lying, with light support under the knee, so the pelvis doesn't rotate forward and grip. This isn't about comfort. It's about alignment. When the pelvis stays neutral, muscles stop bracing. When muscles relax, blood vessels open, and circulation improves naturally. Tom, 72, told me, this change alone removed the drained feeling he woke up with every morning. Not instantly, but steadily night after night. The third strategy is standing breaks, not workouts. Movement helps, but posture resets circulation faster than effort. Every hour you sit, stand for 2 minutes, not to stretch aggressively, not to push through fatigue, just to let gravity change direction. Stand tall without locking the knees. Let your weight pass through your heels, and breathe slowly for a few cycles. This gives blood a clear path back upward, without forcing anything. Men who try to push harder often miss this entirely, adding strain instead of removing resistance. The fourth strategy is walking pace. Walking here is not about distance or speed. It's about rhythm and mechanics. Short, rushed steps keep tension high. Longer, relaxed strides allow muscles to assist circulation naturally. Let your arms swing freely. Allow gentle hip rotation. This creates a pumping effect, without exhausting your system. I watched this shift everything for Michael, 68. Same route, same time, different pace. Within a month, his body felt more responsive, not because he walked more, but because he walked differently. The fifth strategy happens in the evening. Most men collapse at night. Couch, slouched posture, pelvis tilted for hours without realizing it. This is when circulation slows the most. Instead, spend 10 quiet minutes, lying on your back, with your calves slightly elevated. Not high, just enough to let gravity assist return flow. No effort, no strain. This is recovery, not exercise. Men who do this consistently often report deeper sleep and stronger mornings without forcing anything. Choose just one habit or position you'll start tonight. Type the number in the comments. Here's the shift that changes everything. And it has nothing to. Your body is not broken. It never suddenal. And it didn't decide to stop our. What failed was the strategy you were never taught. The quiet, year after year, without you ever realizing it. When men lose trust in their bodies, they assume something inside has stopped working, and that assumption carries weight. It changes how you move, how you speak, how you show up in moments that once felt natural. You hesitate more. You pull back without meaning to, and you start avoiding situations that remind you of what used to feel easy. But what's actually happening is simpler than that. Your body has been adapting, not declining. Adapting to long hours of sitting, adapting to compressed posture, adapting to gravity pulling in the same direction, day after day, and adaptation looks like loss when no one ever explains the mechanism. Once resistance is removed, once you stop fighting gravity and start working with it instead, the body responds in a way that surprises most men. Not overnight, not magically, but steadily and predictably. This is where trust begins to rebuild. Not because you force confidence, but because your body starts responding again. In small signals you can actually feel. You wake up with less heaviness. Your movements feel lighter. And your presence feels more grounded in your own body. Those signals matter because they tell your nervous system that it's safe to respond again. Confidence doesn't return through willpower. It returns through consistency. When you choose alignment over strain, routine over extremes, and patience over panic, you give your body permission to recover. This is not about going back in time. It's about stopping the quiet mistakes that were never explained to you. And when that realization lands, something important shifts. You stop blaming yourself. You stop questioning your worth. And you start trusting your body again. One correct decision at a time. You've done something important today. You stopped blaming yourself, and you started seeing the real mechanism underneath the fear. If this helped you make sense of what you've been feeling, subscribe, because every week I break down men's health in a way that's clear, private, and practical. And if you know a man who's been quietly carrying this, a friend, a brother, your father, share this with him. Because men suffer longer when they stay silent. Next, I want you to watch the video I made about the most common sitting habit after 50. That quietly compresses circulation all day, and the 2-minute reset that reverses it. You're not failing. Your strategy is stay consistent, stay patient, and let your body prove to you that it still knows how to respond. One last thing before you go. What we talked about today was only the first layer, the part most men never see. Gravity doesn't just affect how blood moves. It affects how your nervous system responds, how muscles hold tension, and how recovery happens while you sleep. That's why some habits help during the day, but undo themselves at night, without you realizing it. In the next video, I'll show you how one common sleeping position after 50 quietly reverses everything you try to fix during the day, and what small adjustment restores balance instead. It's not about doing more. It's about stopping one mistake that almost every man makes without knowing. Until then, pay attention to how your body responds. When gravity works with you, not against you, that awareness alone changes more than most men expect. I'll see you there.